Welcome back. Time now for the business day. The trade deficit narrowed in the first 9 months of the last year when compared with the previous year. Both imports and exports registered declines, but the decline in imports was greater than the drop in exports. Imports for the period amounted to US $5.52 billion, reflecting a 4.2% decline compared to the US $5.76 billion recorded in the same period in 2023. Statin says the reduction was primarily driven by lower imports of raw materials, goods and fuels and lubricants, which saw declines of 12.4% and 6.3% respectively. Meanwhile, total exports for the 9-month period stood at $1.36 billion US, representing a 10.8% decline from $1.52 billion US earned in the corresponding period of 2023. This decline was largely attributed to a 57.8% drop in re-exports, which totaled $150.9 million US during the review period. As the government looks ahead to implementing new strategies for growth, Commerce Minister is joining calls for commercial banks to lower their interest rates. Speaking at today's post-cabinet press briefing, Minister Hill says this is long overdue.
And there's a reason why I'm asking for it. Apart from the fact that I understand how this thing works, since I've had to deal with it for many, many years. Economic growth, which is what we have to do after we put our fiscal house in order. Economic growth cannot happen with very high interest rates. It's in the bank's interest. It's in ordinary Jamaicans' interest who will pay less interest. It's in business interest that the bank lending rates come down as quickly as they can.
In the meantime, Mr. Hill says the groundwork has been completed for amendments to be made to the Security Interest in Personal Property Act. The revised legislation will allow more individuals and businesses to utilize the potential of movable assets as security for financing arrangements.
The data has now gone to the Attorney General to create the law, and we hope to have this very soon because I'm pushing it to make sure that there are the SIPA is there to make sure it's much more inclusive, more ordinary people, more entrepreneurs can come in and get access to financial services, borrow money, maybe even say to others, I don't want to borrow. I have this idea. I have some money myself. I have some equipment. I'm inviting you to put in some money as an equity holder.
All categories of fuel will decrease effective tomorrow. Each liter of 87 and 90 gasoline will see $2.62 and $2.61 shaved off today's prices. Diesel, ultra-low sulfur diesel and kerosene will decrease by $3.06. $2.10 will be removed from the cost of propane and butane. Petrol stations will make these adjustments, which include a markup on the ex-refinery rate offered by Petrojam. Banks and cambios are selling the American dollar for an average $158.13. The Canadian dollar is being sold for $111.25. $196.91 is the average value of the pound, while the euro will go for $168.84. The JSE index advanced by 1,089 points to close at 332,660 points, while the junior market index advanced by 21 points to close at 3,703 points. Today's 49 winners included T-Tech, 138 Student Variable Preference Shares, Stanley Motor, CAC 2000, and Consolidated Bakeries. The 42 shares which lost ground today were led by JPS 7% preference shares, MPC Caribbean Clean Energy US dollar shares, AMG Packaging and Paper, Caribbean Assurance Brokers, and Epley 7.25% preference shares. 22 stocks traded firm. And that's the Business Day. News from overseas after the break.